wanted to become an actress. So I went to study drama, but then I found out about all these other types of music that I had no idea. I remember the first bands that really blew my mind were Sonic Youth and Royal Trucks. That was for me like, I was like, what? What is this? And I want to play music again now, different. But yeah, when my dad found out that I got into ambient and like weird stuff, he said, hey, I have records for you. And he picked out all the ambient, Brian Eno ambient from his collection, and he gave them to me. He was really into Terry Riley also. He studied fine arts, but he had like a regular job after in a mental hospital actually. My mom is an artist. She's more she was a poet. She comes from literature. She wrote a few books, but she was always a performer. Like she would perform poetry with like music. In my early 20s, I drank a lot. I wanted to be like Bukowski, get drunk and write poetry. When we used to write with a pencil. Yeah, came from my mom, and reading books also. I was a big fan of Georges Bataille and Marguerite Duras. As French writers, and I'm very influenced by American literature. Bukowski is my favorite writer. I like Philip K. Dick a lot, Fante, raw stuff. Now I always have idea when I travel or when I'm dancing. Often when I hear good tracks, when good DJ sets, they always give me idea of sentences or concepts. I'll just take note on my phone. So I have like a list of like 30 potential titles now. I have more titled tracks, ideas of titles and actual tracks, or concepts, ideas, sentences, and then I make kind of like use that for my lyrics. Labels, they don't even bother to listen to what you send them. You have to play. I think you have to play live, and you have to put out some stuff on the internet. You have to exist for yourself, and if you're honest and if you're good enough, people will come. I've been proven right, and I've seen it with other projects, other people's music. Yeah, I think labels maybe also look for hard workers, or like people that they feel like they're solid. They won't just do one record and then vanish. It's really it's the reward when you get to meet people that have inspired you so much, and you're like, okay, we have a connection, we understand each other, we have mutual interest. It's like the reward, even more than like a review or being in charts. Like, that's cool. I mean, it's nice. It makes sense. It's important. But for me, the when I feel like, okay, life makes sense, I'm doing the right thing, it's really when I meet people that have inspired me, and we feel mutual. That is mutual. Then you're like, all right, I'm on the right track. I feel like, okay, well, now I need to inspire other people. I feel like this is my job, not to talk to younger people or people that are starting to. A lot of people come to talk to me after my shows, and they ask me questions and I just tell them always the same thing. You have to play. Just play. You have to play every day. Play. If you want to do that really, if that's what you want to do, at the beginning you have to play every day, every day. Find yourself, find your sound, find your language, you know, like music is like a language. At the first, it's like when you start making music, you know just a few words. And the more you do, you make sentences and then you can make a whole paragraph. And then you can make a record.
Play for you guys. So fashionable these days.
I think my live set right now is much harder. It's more of a 2-3 a.m. set, but I've played it at 10. I played it at 10 o'clock in Cologne and went really well. I think I also do a mix of like hard, like driving, and in between sometimes I still do songs with the mic, like talking or singing. So it's kind of schizophrenic. It goes like from like banging techno to like chansons and then techno again, or even not techno. I don't even know how to consider it. Just like hard electronic. It's just, I like to, when you hear the sound of the machines live, you can really hear it on a good PA. I like to play with that, just like pure sound, and then break it, talk, sing.
It's true. I ask a lot of questions. You call me naive? I'll tell you it. I'm naive to the bone. Do you think I'm too soft? Because I don't know. Or is it that you're lost when I smile? I don't need your love. But I'll dare to ask you how you feel about it.
I always do the music before the lyrics. Well, almost always. I usually now, before I had the electric, I would always start with a rhythm on the 707. Now I tends to start with this machine, because with this you can do drum patterns, you can do you have like so many oscillators, you have synthesizer sounds, you can do pads, you can do just like weird, also like create just like weird texture. It's actually quite good for a cheap machine. I like it a lot, because then you have a filter. The filter is nice, it's not perfect. I like the filter on the mono track is really good, very deep. That's analog though. It's really good cheap machine. They don't do it anymore though, so don't bother. Then this is the sequencer where I wrote all my sequences. So all my music from the beginning, except on my very first EP, the tape cassette that was out on Holodeck, the self-titled. Right after that, since Père d'Identité, my first LP, all the melodic sequences are written on this. It's my favorite sequencer. I'm in love with it. This is sequencing this synthesizer here that is called a Mini Brute, and I use it a lot for bass lines and also melodic, like more like melodic sequences. If I want to do more like ambient stuff or just like textural stuff, I will record. This is a multi-tracker, so it's not a sampler, it's really like a portable studio. It's very cheap, but for live it's amazing because you can basically record as much length as you want. So if you want to have 10 hours of a drone, you can record 10 hours of a drone. And if you want to have like sometimes I'll just plug this synth and put it on put the arpeggiator on hold and just use the LFO and the filters and with a bunch of FX pedal delay create like sounds almost like modular or breaking glass. You can really have fun. And then with the mono trap, I do the same. I'll do like car crash sounds, like the typical like sounds I do in the track called Excès de vitesse, which talks about a car crash. Excès de vitesse means speeding. The breaking glass sound, they come from the mono trap. It's just white noise with the LFO and with like a high rate, and with the delay and reverb. And you can do it with this also. I like to do very like textural sequences.
Just to get things straight. Je suis pas encore bon. How does everybody feel? Yes.
But who probably inspired me the most in terms of like how I work is my mentor, David Christian, with whom I did the DKMD project. We had a release on Giallo Disco record, and also one on Fur Trade, which is a label from Montreal. But he was, when I met him, I played violin and synths. He got that I was really into disco, and I loved sequences. He's really good at sequencing. I always loved his sequences, and he was like, "Why don't you buy a sequencer?" And I said, "A what?" And then he told me, "Now you're gonna use sync." And I said, "What? Use sync?" He said, "You have to sync your drum machine and your sequencer." And I said, "What? Why?" I remember I was really like scared of new things. Very always been scared of. That's why I don't use a computer. It takes me a while. I don't like changes. He said, "You will sync your machine. You take a cable, you put it in." Now, I mean, this doesn't have a CV, but it's MIDI. But he said, "You take the out and you put it in like in a pedal, and they're gonna be sync and press play." And I understood. Wow, okay, we're making like kind of like groovy music that has a rhythm. At the time, I was doing very cold music. I was really starting, so I would do like very rigid beats and cold sequences.
I've got no price to hide. That's not good. Let me picture my future. A large room where you can hear the sounds.
And I was just discovering like how to work a machine like that. And I was having so much fun. And I was like, okay, I have a good groove. And I was like, I have something. I feel it. I have something. What am I going to say on top of this? I was like, I didn't want to do it. It's also like a very happy, joyful, like it's a major scale, like driving, good vibes, dance track. I was like, what am I going to talk about on this without being cheesy? I don't want to be this other, once again, like dance, ooh yeah, talk about I was like, I need to talk about something deep. And I said, well, what's more deep than this? As playing. So I just started, like, I was in my studio, I just plugged the mic and I was like, people ask me what I do with my time. Listen, I dedicate my life. And I thought it was badass. It's like, come on. And I'm just having fun. I was just fooling around saying stupid stuff. And I kept the best lines. I say, sometimes when I'm alone, I joke, but yeah, it's just pure fun. This track is positive, 100%. It just talks about me having fun and working hard. Having fun, working hard.
Those guys were arrogant. They've been on my chest. Just beating of my heart.
I like French better than anything because that's where I'm the strongest, and then I'm more eloquent, fluent. But I make songs that have English lyrics because I want people to understand. I don't want to make music only for my people, people who speak French honoring music that everybody understands. But then I still do French tracks because I like the language and some things you can't express. I have like recurrent themes. I talk a lot about identity, ego. What do I talk about? Dreams, expectations, deception. These are themes that come into my music a lot. I'm very much driven by frustration. That's for sure. Like frustration drives me a lot when I feel frustrated, which I often do. I write music. It's a good, and then it becomes positive. I feed a lot on pain, I guess, sadness, all these things that we all go through. When this is happening, it usually gives me like good ideas. I guess it's survival mode for me. I know I'm playing, I'll be on tour until September. That's my plan. Okay. If I survive, then we'll see. My plan right now is to survive this 1 year tour. I do. I just hope to be a better person, become better and better, feel good in my mind and my body, and keep making music that I like also. It's very important for me to be excited about it. If one day I don't feel excited about it anymore, it'd be time to take a break.